Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Kody Brown threatening kids' lives caught on film. Kody Brown is one of the least popular figures among the Sister Wives fandom. Viewers find him incredibly arrogant and even verbally abusive to his family members. In general, Sister Wives viewers agree that Kody's bad behavior has grown more extreme over the years. After 18 seasons, he's a shell of the jovial father figure from season 1. But even in the show's early days, Kody displayed extremely poor parenting tactics, especially when it came to disciplining his children. See what one Redditor dug up online this week. Redditors find Kody Brown verbally berating and threatening his kids. In recent seasons, Sister Wives fans have witnessed Kody Brown speak harshly about his older children while favoring Robyn's kids. Sadly, this isn't a new occurrence. One Sister Wives fan recently dug up an instance from an early season where Kody threatened his young sons after he grew sick of them squabbling with each other. Did Kody seriously threaten his boys? A Reddit user asked online recently. S8E6 when Gabe and Garrison got into a fight after an outing to a movie. This is what Kody said to them. I remember when this episode aired, I thought, wow, that's over the top. Words hurt kids. Parents should know better. They attached 2 screenshots with the closed captioning revealing Kody's threatening words. One read, "If I ever see that again, you two are done with your lives." The other read, "I am just ending you." While this clip was extremely upsetting to begin with, it's aged incredibly poorly in recent days. Sister Wives fans sadly remember that Garrison Brown took his own life in March 2024. Other Sister Wives fans react to the heartbreaking scene. Naturally, other Redditors found Kody Brown's language incredibly harsh and inappropriate. Others left comments including, "If he is capable of this explosion when the camera is rolling, imagine the things he says when he's not on film. He's a complete nutball." When said he was nicer on the show than in real life, so I have no doubt he has said all sorts of things to them and threatened them regularly. I think once the show is finally done, we're going to get a lot of information on what Kody was truly like off camera. And the wives too. I absolutely agree. And I suspect the reason the allegations against Mary a while ago weren't addressed is because then it would open up all the adults to this type of scrutiny, and none of them would look good. Do you remember this early episode of Sister Wives? What do you think about Kody Brown's mistreatment of his sons? Leave your own thoughts and opinions in the comments. Kody Brown's world had always been one of peculiar balance. As the patriarch of a polygamous family, with 4 wives and a brood of children that seemed to multiply by the year, his life was a series of complex negotiations and delicate handling of emotions. But recent events had turned this balance into chaos, thrusting Kody into a whirlwind of scandal and danger that no one had seen coming. It all began on an unremarkable Wednesday afternoon. The Brown family was scattered around their expansive property in Flagstaff, Arizona. The kids were playing, the wives were managing household chores, and Kody was in his study going through some paperwork. Life in the Brown household was a well-oiled machine, each member playing their part to keep things running smoothly. However, this tranquility was shattered when Maddie, Kody's eldest daughter, rushed into the house, her face ashen and her breath coming in short, sharp gasps. In her trembling hands, she clutched a small, inconspicuous camera, its lens still warm from recent use. "Kody, you need to see this," she panted, her eyes wide with terror. Kody took the camera from her, his confusion turning to concern as he noticed the distress in her eyes. He switched on the camera and began to play the most recent recording. The footage was shaky at first, capturing mundane scenes of the children playing and the wives chatting. But then the lens zoomed in on a figure in the distance, Kody himself, his face contorted with rage, his voice rising to a fever pitch as he berated someone just out of frame. "Why can't you do anything right?" he shouted, his voice barely recognizable through the veil of fury. "I've had it with you. If you don't shape up, you'll wish you were never born." The camera panned, revealing that the object of his wrath was none other than his youngest son, Solomon, who stood trembling, his eyes wide with fear. The recording ended abruptly, leaving a heavy silence in its wake. Kody's hands shook as he lowered the camera, his mind reeling. How could this have happened? He didn't remember this outburst. But there it was, captured on film, a moment of anger that had somehow slipped from his memory, now threatening to destroy everything he had worked so hard to build. "Dad," Maddie's voice broke through his thoughts, "we have to do something. This is serious. If this gets out, it could ruin us." Kody nodded, his mind racing. They needed to contain this, to ensure it didn't become public. But even as he thought this, he knew it was already too late. The camera had been left in the living room, and anyone could have seen the footage. Anyone could have already copied it. Desperate, Kody called a family meeting, gathering everyone in the living room. The wives exchanged worried glances and the younger children looked confused, sensing the tension but not understanding its cause. "Kody, what's going on?" Mary, his first wife, asked, her voice tinged with apprehension. In a halting voice, Kody explained the situation, playing the footage for everyone to see. Gasps of shock and dismay filled the room. Tears sprang to Solomon's eyes as he watched his father's enraged face on the screen. "We have to handle this internally," Kody said, trying to keep his voice steady. "We need to support each other and make sure this doesn't get out. It was a moment of weakness, a mistake. We can't let this define us." But even as he spoke, Kody could see doubt and fear in the eyes of his family. The trust that had held them together for so long was fracturing. He needed a plan, something to reassure them, to make them believe that this would not destroy them. Days turned into a blur of damage control. Kody met with each of his wives individually, trying to reassure them, to explain that it was a one-time incident. But he could see the seeds of doubt taking root, especially in Cristin and Janelle, who had always been more independent and outspoken. The children, too, were affected. They became quieter, more withdrawn, casting nervous glances at their father, as if expecting another explosion. Kody's heart broke each time he saw the fear in their eyes, knowing that he was the cause. Word of the incident began to spread despite their best efforts. Neighbors, friends, and even distant relatives started calling, their voices laced with concern and sometimes thinly veiled judgment. The Browns had always been a tight-knit community, but this scandal threatened to tear them apart. Kody knew that they needed to address this publicly before it spiraled out of control. He arranged for a press conference, hoping to present a united front and to show that the incident had been a momentary lapse, not a reflection of who he truly was.